like that funky music. Steve Dace here with Aaron McIntyre. Welcome to our Confidence Picks segment each week here on Bigger 10. Good to see you, Aaron. You ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, brought to you by a friend. You're going to say something? Go ahead.
I was really hopeful to close the gap a little bit. I didn't lose as much, but that still means the gap is growing, and I'm going to owe you something at the end.
Of growth. That's important.
There
right?
you go. Yes, there
That's
you go.
That's how we cut programs in government. We don't actually cut things. We just cut the amount we were going to spend extra on them, and we call that a cut. So
precisely,
I like that.
Precisely.
Well done. All right, and of course, our Confidence Pick segment brought to you by our friends over at BetQL. Let me lay these numbers on you. Wow, 13-2. BetQL's 5-star bets for week 1 of the NFL between Thursday and Sunday last week. You don't want to miss out on that chance to beat up your sportsbook. 13-2, folks. All right, now they can't guarantee that every week, all right? But that's an incredible performance, and that's why you want BetQL if you want to get the advantage over your sports book. You need to download the BetQL app, the only app you're going to need to make smart bets. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, player props. They've got it all for you. They let you also use the model if you want to do your own research or the necessary tools to compile your research for you. And they give you the sharp data so that you know what the pros that do this for a living, where are they laying their hard-earned money down as well as the latest line movements, player news, injury news, etc. All right, so you want to get the app at the App Store for BetQL, either the App Store or your Google Play Store. Download BetQL, or you can also head to try.betql.co/pick if you want to do it online yourself to get started now. And while you're there, enter the discount code PICK at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. Again, the discount code PICK at payment checkout for 25% off any subscription offering. And you can also find all this information in the description of this video as well. So, Aaron, give us the rundown on where the confidence picks stand heading into week 3.
So we'll review last week. You got Indiana over Idaho, Wisconsin, Eastern Michigan, Maryland, Howard, Michigan State, Youngstown, Purdue, Penn State, Nebraska, Minnesota. You missed Ohio State over Oregon. You got Northwestern over Indiana State, Virginia over Illinois, Iowa State over Iowa. You got wrong. Syracuse over Rutgers. You got wrong. And Michigan over Washington. You got right. I got Wisconsin, Michigan State, Maryland, Indiana, Purdue. I got Ohio State wrong. Got Minnesota, Virginia, Penn State. I got Rutgers over Syracuse. Northwestern got wrong. Buffalo over Nebraska. Iowa State over Iowa, but I got Michigan over Washington. By my count, homeschool math, I got you got 94 points. I got 92 points.
Wow, it's close. I feel like I should give you, I might even do this. I'll give you another bonus point if you want to add it for just taking Buffalo because of the ballsy play. I liked it.
You know what? I'm just going to be picking against Nebraska this entire season, just so our viewers know. Here are our picks for this week, Steve. You have Ohio State over Tulsa.
I think this is a complete beatdown. I think Tulsa shot the proverbial wad against the in-state rival last week. Ohio State's fan base, coaching staff, everybody in a meltdown. I think they put up another 600 yards and 30 first downs this week, but not against a team that can control the line of scrimmage like Oregon. So I think this is kind of a name the score Saturday for the Buckeyes. I've got Rutgers at 11 points over Delaware. That's more about the opponent. I mean, Rutgers is better. I think people are way overblowing how much they've improved, but dude, they're playing the Blue Hens. So, I mean, you got to fade the Blue Hens whenever you can. I'm going to put 10 points on Michigan over Northern Illinois. This will be maybe the weakest team Michigan will face this season. And I think this will be another empty the bench game for the Wolverines 3 weeks in a row. I'll take Iowa over Kent State. Now, they've got a little bit better offense than you're used to with Kent State. I don't think it's as good as it showed against, I think, what was it, VMI last week. But wouldn't surprise me if they got a touchdown or two. But I think this is really a week for Iowa to try to get well on that offensive side of the football. I've got 8 points on Oklahoma over Nebraska. I think there will be a lot of points in this game. I just think the vast majority of them are going to be scored by Oklahoma. Okay. So, I mean, this strikes me as like a 47, 48 to 21, 24 kind of a game. Okay. Number 7, I'm going to take Notre Dame over Purdue. The 7-point spread, though, kind of scares me a little bit. Makes you kind of think they kind of begging you to take the Boilermakers there. But I also wonder if Notre Dame, after getting barely by for 2 weeks in a row, if they kind of come out and lay the wood to somebody week 3. So we'll see. But I'll put 7 points on the Irish at home. If I had to do over again, I'd put more points on Penn State. I just think this is a tough matchup. If you look at the home road splits for Bo Nix, the Auburn quarterback, the first 2 years of his career, he's fantastic, like 22-3 TD to interception ratio at home. It's like 10-10 when he plays away from Jordan Hare. And you're going into what I think is the most terrific environment in all of college football. The Penn State whiteout, they didn't have one of these last year. You want to talk about a lathered up crowd. So I think this will be a big moment for Penn State on a national stage. I'll put 5 points on Indiana pulling the upset over Cincinnati. It's kind of an auto take for me whenever a group of 5 team, no matter how good they are, is favored over a Power 5 team. But especially in this case, this I think is a Tom Allen culture game. This is a chance for them to kind of reset their season after that debacle in Iowa City. And I think they pulled the upset for Big Noon Saturday. Number 4, I'm going to go with Minnesota on the road over Colorado. I really think much like Tulsa, Colorado shot the proverbial wad last week against A&M, gave it everything they could, still couldn't beat A&M even when the quarterback got knocked out of the game. I wonder where they're at, both from a beat-up standpoint. I watched a lot of that game because Iowa and Iowa State was not competitive, and it was a slobber knocker, man. It was very physical. A lot of guys got beat up. I wonder where Colorado's at from a depth and health perspective. The reason I don't have more points on this is really not as much confidence in Minnesota. I'll put 3 points on Illinois pulling the upset over Maryland because Maryland's coached by Mike Locksley. And I'll put 2 points on Miami over Michigan State. And, this isn't the timing of this game is interesting. It's a noon game. And so that's a terrible time for the Miami fan base. That stadium's going to be half full. It's a terrible time for the Michigan State team because it's going to be 3,000 degrees. All right. So those 2 things I think kind of cancel out. And this one maybe goes down to the wire and maybe Miami wears them down in the heat a little to pull it out at the end. And I'll put 1 point on Northwestern over Duke because both these teams are terrible.
Well said. Here are my picks. I've got at my 12 spot Oklahoma over Nebraska. I just don't think that Nebraska has any prayer in this game. If I eat my words, something has gone terribly wrong for Oklahoma. Number 11, I've got Iowa over Kent State. I mean, this is going to be a little bit of a hangover game for Iowa, but I don't think they have any issues with Kent State and pulling that one out. Number 10, I've got Notre Dame over Purdue.
Wow.
I do think, though, despite the line, I was thinking kind of the same thing you were with the week 3 after barely eking out a couple of games. Notre Dame is due to put it all together, especially against an in-state foe. 9 spot, I've got Ohio State over Tulsa. Let's see if Ohio State's defensive woes can maybe subside a little bit and they can get some more consistency going on offense. I think that happens this week. We got Michigan over Illinois in the 8th spot. Not really a knock on Michigan so much as I think after last week, I'm not sure. I've got a strange feeling about this game that it could be a little bit closer, at least in the first half, than we are expecting. We got at number 7, I've got Rutgers over Delaware. I agree with I picked Rutgers last week, but I agree with your overall assessment. They're not anywhere close to world beaters right now. So again, similar thing. I think this one could be a little bit closer early on than we expect. 6th spot, I've got Cincinnati actually taking care of business over Indiana. I think we are going to learn a lot about Indiana if they're real or if they're pretenders this weekend, and Cincinnati will give them a good test. I've got 5. I've got Duke beating Northwestern. How many years now in the past 5 has Duke and Northwestern played? It seems like it's been
it seems like they play yearly.
Yeah. But I just don't have much confidence right now in Northwestern on either side of the ball. At the 4 spot, I've got Auburn going into that wideout and pulling a massive up. It would be a massive upset given that environment and given that advantage that Penn State has. Not super confident on this, which is why I've got it only at 4 points. But I figured I got to pick and choose my spots, making up a deficit this early.
Yeah, that could be your swing game right there. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got Miami over Michigan State at 3. I just think I think this will be a battle maybe of attrition for Michigan State, as you said, with the weather being what it is. But going on the road and playing a noon game in a sleepy environment where it's, as you said, 3,000 degrees, that's going to be a hard task. At number 2, I've got Illinois over Maryland, picking the mild upset as well. And then at the 1 spot, I've got Colorado actually over Minnesota. Not really confidence in Colorado, but a lack of confidence in Minnesota, who had to pull one out against Miami of Ohio last week.
So this is going to be our first big week. We're going to see some swings in the point total this week. I like it, brother. That's some exciting stuff. So once again, let me thank our sponsor for the pick segment, BetQL, the only app you're going to need to beat your sportsbook. Find their information along with a 25% off discount code in the description of this video, and also check out the special MGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL and other sportsbook sign-up offers and bonuses from BetQL. The #1 app to compare betting odds is a must-get if you want to beat your sportsbook this football season. All right, we'll be back again next week looking at these games, as well as on Bigger 10 and Michigan podcast. For Aaron McIntyre, I'm Steve Dace. We'll see you then.